Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Today we're doing a coaching session for Soraka. Oh, wrong side. Blue side here. There we go. Coaching session for Soraka. So special thanks to Jacob for sponsoring this. If you'd like to sponsor a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. It's real easy to just send me the file. It's just $25. I can do it on stream or off stream. And I'll catalog it in the playlist that I'll have linked in the description, so you can always access it anytime you want. And other people can learn from it as well. So, really cool little system. And if you don't... Oh, that's awkward. Yeah, somebody needed to ward this tri-bush. Like, a super common sort of gank technique that people will use is they'll come in through this, and then you loop around through here. And so, like, sitting in this tri-bush is actually really dangerous. If you don't have, like, a very good sort of counter gank, right? So if you have some CC, then, like, sitting in a bush and waiting on them can work. But if you're actually trying to avoid them, then people need to spread out. And, like, someone needs to watch both entrances. Like, someone ward here and someone ward here. Or stand there. Okay. Barrier. Okay, use your flash. Singe jungle. Okay, well that's interesting. I think Jacob said this is a gold 3, and I'm streaming this as well. Starting off the stream with this for people that are watching the standalone VOD. So there's not going to be a ton of people in the stream yet. Hey, what's up, Stefan? But you might hear me talking with the chat a little bit over there. Yeah, but they're, like... She's dead again. Yeah, they're definitely going to camp you, like, 100% if you don't have Sums bot this early. It's, like, it's super common for the jungler if they get your Sums at level 1 to, you know, do blue buff and then come down and gank. So, yeah, I would have pinged out, you know, the Jinx. Just let them push into you and just barely last hit just to protect yourself until you get that flash. But yeah, just make sure you communicate that with your team and say, hey, we gotta chill, we don't have no flash. Just, like, ping the cooldown on your flash. Then ping Singe a lot. Say, you know, wait. Okay, so they probably backed here. What is your ward say? Where did you place your ward? It's not a great place for a ward right now. Like, it's okay, but especially because you know they're backed right now. Okay, Singed is top. But at the time, before you knew they had that ward, I would have come over here and, like, maybe warded, like, right here. Like, just walk through here and then ward, like, right here. Yeah, they're getting Scuttle right now. Malzahar is, probably with Ezreal and Shin. So y'all need to be careful, because Malzahar might just come down here and gank you. With Ezreal, like, Shin has flash, so he can, you know, dash and flash. Okay, they left. She might be dead again here. Get a heal. No. Okay. Well, I guess you got one of them there. Be careful. If his dash comes back up, he can probably kill you if he gets his cooldowns back. All right, not terrible, not terrible. Shin still has his flash. He's gonna have Ignite soon. You may not know the exact timing on Ignite, but I would just assume it's almost up. Because he didn't use it in the fight. Like, he used it level 1. Oof. If he hit that stuff, that would have been rough. Yeah, I would have warded the Scuttle. Like, anytime Scuttle's up, you need that warded. If you're not going to go contest it, you at least need it warded. Hey, Dragon House. It depends on what your situation is in lane. Like, wards are always kind of... I have several videos on Vision if people want to, like, check out a more in-depth warding guide. But Vision's kind of dependent on, like, how, like, strong you are in the lane and how much you can protect that Vision. So, like, the best thing is where it's going to give you the most Vision, but if you're not going to be able to protect it, if they're just going to sweep it, then that's bad, especially early on. Now, they're not going to have a lot of control wards and sweepers, like, probably super early in the game. Auto, auto, auto. Auto. Okay, nice. Yeah, come up here and help him. Or just ping him off of it. I don't know. This seems like it's going to be a disaster. Yeah. You were super low. Thinking maybe if... Nah, it's better just not to do that. This Cinch can come in there and probably just kill you both. Okay, nice. So, like, for example, like I said in this lane earlier, they were kind of behind. So, like, instead of placing your ward here, like, coming over and placing it, like, here. So that you can get vision of the Scuttle where it's placed. Now, I'm saying here instead of here because if you walk all the way out to here and, like, you spot the Cinch or something, he's probably going to kill you. But if you come to, like, right here and place the ward here, it's more likely you're going to be able to get away. So you just got to place where it's, like, most safe. Now, a pink ward, that is a good place for a pink ward early on. I mean, it's not a terrible place for your initial ward. It's just, you've got to watch that Scuttle. Now, the Scuttle's back. So, you know, just expect Singe to be down here. The problem is, if you don't ward the Scuttle, you just have to assume that they're on it. Until you see otherwise on the map. Because that's, like, the main point of interest. It's like Scuttle and Dragon. Now, Singe is not a threat to do Dragon early, but he would really like to do that Scuttle. Everybody loves Scuttle. It gives a lot of experience. It gives about the same experience as most jungle camps. It's free. It doesn't hit you back. It gives you free vision in the river, and it replenishes a lot of your health and a lot of your mana. So it's a very, very powerful thing. Now, if y'all can get advantage here, if you can push up, you can maybe go look at it and see if you can get it. A little dangerous when Hecarim's topside, though, but you don't have a super powerful lane here to start with. Yeah, he's probably here. Okay, he just hit the sweeper, so he's definitely here. Okay, run. Run. You got your ult. Nice. There you go. Watch the Singe trail. Okay. You got a Q? Okay, nice. Alright. Good. Y'all outplayed him. Singe didn't use his Ghost. If he used Ghost, I don't know, maybe it was on cooldown. If he used his Ghost, he would have killed y'all probably. Make a hit. So Hecarim's getting top. Yeah, so just let the lane reset and go ahead and back here. Ooh, that's dangerous. Be careful of the Ezreal ult. He's not 6 yet, but he'll... A good chance he's going to hit 6 off this wave. This is commonly warded too, so... Okay, you had a control ward in there, though. Alright. Huh. Hey, thanks, Dragon House. Alright, what are we getting here? Ardent Sensor Rush, huh? Jinx is really far ahead. Yeah, I mean, Ardent's fine. I tend to like going with a Chalice item early just because that mana regen's so helpful, but you're not really taking a lot of poke. Or the health regen, rather, but you're not taking a lot of poke, so I guess that's fine. I think that usually starting with something like an Athene's or a Redemption, something that gives some kind of health regen or protection is good. Like, Athene's gives you the 30 magic resist, which is very useful against, like, Singed, Malzahar, even Shin to a lesser extent. I believe his on-hit damage is magic, percentage health damage, so. Okay, that actually spotted Singed in their base. That's really good. So y'all can push up a little bit here. Just don't get taunted under tower. Yeah, I would probably start Athene's. Redemption also gives you a little bit of protection, gives you that 200 health, which is very nice. It's a great sort of double whammy with your ult for like supreme team fighting. You don't have a great team fighting team though, you know, like LeBlanc and Teemo really want to split up. But it still is good. And if you practice it, like if you use Redemption really well, nice, good job. You can get some semi-global pressure with it, like you can throw it mid lane to help out LeBlanc. She's getting like Malzahar ulted or something. Hey, what's up, Jake? For those of you just tuning into the stream, we're going to do some ranked here in just a little bit. We're just doing a coaching session real quick, while we're waiting on some people to show up, so I got kind of a late start tonight, so. I don't know what it is. I need to start exercising and eating better, man. I used to be in like really good shape, but I'm just not anymore, and I think I just don't have as much energy as I used to. I need to be eating better. Getting some more blood flow. Just sit around, you know, a lot of the day. Just when I worked in a restaurant for 8 years, you know, I'd be on my feet, walking around the whole time, and then I'd go work out afterwards, and then of course I was like in my 20s, and just had a lot more, I don't know, I was just out and about moving with people. I had a lot more friends. I was hanging out more regularly. Still have friends, but everybody's busy with stuff, you know, everybody's got kids, everybody's, you know, working full-time jobs, overtime, you know. A lot of stuff going on, but really that's a lot of excuses. I need to I need to just get out and do something more. Hey, what's up, Prophet? Alright. Okay, nice ult. Keep queuing. Whenever you're running away, every time that queue's off cooldown, you need to hit it. Because it heals you, it empowers your heal, and it allows you to kite them better. But yeah, Ardent Sensor is, you know, with an 80 carry this far ahead, it's probably a good thing. The thing is, you don't proactively heal with Soraka most of the time. Like, you save your heal to do it reactively on people. So you're probably not going to have full uptime on somebody. Unlike, like, a shield or something with Janna. You can use that kind of proactively a lot of times. For the Ardent Sensor, like Nami waves. I wouldn't run that way, yeah. Alright. I guess maybe that was some next level planning on Singed ganking you guys, so you just went ahead and executed there. I think Eing him was probably correct, but then I would run the other way. Alright, what we got? Ardent. Probably, I assume, working Redemption next. Okay, Sin's trying to make some plays top. Ew, rapid fire. Hurricane, people. Okay, nice. Shin's ult's down. We don't know where, careful, he just doesn't hit you with a random, okay, random Q or something. Okay, Cinch's middle. Cinch's coming down here, so y'all need to leave. I would get a tier 2. Ashe does not have a buff yet, no. Ashe is getting a buff. On probably Wednesday when the patch releases. Okay, nice. I probably would have gotten some Mercury treads a bit earlier. Like, it's very important to get tier 2 boots on Soraka because you're so vulnerable a lot of times. So you need some movement speed. I probably would have gotten Mercs. Help you out a little bit with Singe, Malzahar. It does slow down your build a little bit, but like Soraka's baseline power is so high with her shield and her ult that just like staying alive is kind of the #1 priority. Whenever you hit a Q, see if you get a heal in there. Like, there. Heal the LeBlanc. Okay, or that's fine. Yeah, Jinx is just hard carry. If you heal the LeBlanc, she might be able to stay and help you pressure this tower, but... Hey, what's up, Divine? I know, sorry, buddy. I might see if I can start streaming earlier. Not like a ton earlier, but just like maybe 30 minutes or something. I could start with being on time. Nice, good job, Miniquo. Alright, let's see. Static Shiv. Do people not understand? This is a gold game, right? Do people not understand how Hurricane works on Jinx? For people that don't understand, that don't watch my 80 carry tier list, first of all, you should, because I have a lot of good information in there, I think. But second of all, Hurricane, like, whenever you fire out a shot with Hurricane, you have Jinx rockets on, each one of the Hurricane bolts turns into a rocket that can also AoE, that can also crit. Like, it's extremely OP. It's one of the main reasons that Jinx is such a high win rate champion, is that interaction is really overpowered. And you're not taking advantage of that if you don't get Hurricane. Like, Hurricane is usually, like, any champion that can get it, it's usually a very, very strong item. Any champion that can, like, reasonably get it. You know, you don't want to be getting Hurricane on Vayne or, like, Caitlyn, because it doesn't interact. But if anyone that has, like, any sort of special, like, on-hit interactions should be getting Hurricane. And it is very strong. Do you have Redemption? No, you'd already used it. Okay. And, like, a Twitch or, you know, obviously Jinx, Varus. Okay. He didn't even try to go for the hook. Yeah, Hurricane used to be really OP on Caitlyn. That was when Caitlyn was very strong. Used to build up her headshot a lot faster. I'm still not entirely sure they needed to get rid of that all the way. But Caitlyn was so OP in the meta when she was good. That, and she's so hard to play to begin with. I'm not that sad that she's out of the meta. Now, you know, because this game, like, there aren't a lot of proper 5v5 fights, Hurricane has a little bit less value, but I don't know. It also gives you way better wave clear. I think Hurricane's great. Anyways, what do you got here? Mobility boots. I probably wouldn't go Mobies. Like, the reason for that is you're not really, like, roaming around a lot. Like, mobility boots are for champions that really want to get to, like, specific locations a lot for roaming. So champions that are running between lanes, just leave. He's dead. Probably. Don't die too. I think you're gonna die. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I got him. Serious? Not have any armor? Not much. Alright, that could have been rough. It worked out, but so y'all are getting away with a lot of stuff in this game because you're so far ahead. Oh, okay, Lev. Cool. Does he have a Smurf or something? Oh yeah, he does have a Smurf. I think that's like in gold, maybe. Yo, what's up, Bryant? She's probably gone. I would try to go get Dragon. Let's get this free Dragon down here. But yeah, so mobility boots are usually for like your Alistars, your Threshes, your Nautilus, maybe Nautilus. Your champions that are trying to roam around and really like proactively like make plays. Soraka, like, you do roam some, but you're pretty much staying near a lot of other people most of the time. Like, you really want to try to get to team fights, and you're very, very vulnerable. So I just think you need those extra defenses from things like either mobility boots or ninja tabi, you know? It's getting a little clowny. I think y'all need to rein it in. Like, just focus on objectives here. Like, I would have just come down and gotten the Dragon. The thing is, like, I know that you're probably not the one calling these shots, and you're just kind of like, okay, I don't know about being in here, but my team's doing it, so I'll go with them. But you just got to ping them back and say, don't do that. Like, sometimes they won't do it if no one follows them. But if you're following them, then they feel like it's a better idea, you know? So, like, that's what can happen if, say, for example, Teemo wants to hide in the jungle and, you know, try to make a play, and then you come over there to back him up, and then, you know, LeBlanc might think, oh, okay, well, we can do this. This is a good idea. Let's go over here. And then all of a sudden you're in, like, a 3v5. Whereas if you just, yeah, like, right here is bad. You need to leave. Actually, you're not here. Sorry. They need to leave. Like, y'all are, I think, still kind of winning these fights, but it's 42 to 19. Like, they shouldn't be getting any kills ever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, y'all might win this, but it's important to kind of reflect and think back on replays like this and just say, you know what? If we weren't up 43 to 19, if this score was like 23 to 19 or something, they might actually come back and win. But you have so much gold that... And that's always a danger, too, like, in games where you're really winning, because you can develop bad habits. You can say, you know what, like... Because the danger is thinking, well, we won the game, so I must have done everything right. And it's like, probably not. Like, there's almost always stuff you can kind of improve on, but... Because, like, they get a lot of gold off of shutdowns, and then when these supers come in here like this, you know, it's killing all of your minions. So, you're still in a really good chance to win this game, but the minions might even be able to kill it. But if they hold on, y'all are doing the Baron, which is the right thing. But if they somehow manage to hold on and win like a couple more team fights, like the gold can really start coming back. Hey, what's up, Constantine? I'll talk about the YouTube versus Twitch here in a second. I think this is probably going to end on this push. I would wait on LeBlanc. Just, I mean, y'all can probably beat him with 4, but you might as well wait on LeBlanc and just make sure. He just ended. Well, is he going to get Ezreal? Okay, no. But Jinx can probably just walk up and... She's so strong. Yeah, they just can't stop Jinx. Okay. All right, so overall pretty good. I think the some of the main things that I've seen, so early on, make sure that you're warding. I don't know if that was your ward in the river or not, but you want to make sure that you're either standing or warding that bottom tri bush. I think standing in it would probably be okay because they don't have a hook champ, but you need somebody to have vision of both entrances in the jungle, unless you yourself are invading or you have a really good strategy for what happens if they invade. Just all stacking in one bush, especially that specific bush, can be really dangerous if they have a better level 1 than you, which they probably do because of Shin. Like, if Shin gets a taunt on, like, 3 or 4 people, it's a big problem. So I think the best course of action is usually just watch both entrances. So have someone doing that, and then if your bot lane loses both of their flashes like that, you just have to expect they're coming down there. Like, that jungler is coming down there at level 2, like, for sure. Especially if, like, their support, who has CC and also has his flash, like, Shin can flash taunt you. Really high probability that they're going to come check out bottom. So you want to try to let them push into you. Just ping your flash a lot, ping back, ping singed, and just say careful, like, level 2 or something like that. Just say care level 2 in chat or something. Then just let them push into you. And you're basically in the penalty box for 5 minutes. You're just going to have to hang out near your tower and just try to freeze it outside the tower if you can, and just use that tower for safety. Or at least for the first couple of waves, do that, and just let him go top. But yeah, in general, when you don't have your flash, especially when both you and the AD carry don't have your flashes, and I don't think Jinx had her heal either, you got to be very, very cautious for all ends with the jungler. And then once the scuttle is showing up, just expect that if your jungler is not down there getting that scuttle pretty close to when it spawns, the enemy jungler, you just have to assume they're in the area if you don't have it warded. So you need to go up and ward it. And then that way, if you want to try to make some trades in lane, you can be a bit more confident that they're probably not there if they're not doing scuttle. Because most people will do that scuttle, like, before they try to come gank. Unless there's, like, a really, really good opportunity where you're, like, you know, harassing them under their own tower or something. But yeah, so just early on, just managing the vision a little better, managing your risk a little bit better, especially when you're down summoners. You did win some really clutch fights. I think a lot of that, I mean, you did pretty well personally in the fights, but I think a lot of that came down to Ezreal missing skill shots also. But there were a few instances where you could have gotten in a couple more auto attacks. Maybe you could have hit a couple more Qs. Just especially when you're running away. If you get a really good chance, try to hit that Q. It does heal you. It does give you the extra movement speed to help you get away. Little known fact, you probably know this, but some people don't know this about Soraka, especially after the most recent changes. If you hit your Q and then you W somebody else, they get the movement speed. So that can actually help Jinx get away from situations. If you hit your Q and then heal her, that can give her some extra empowered movement speed to potentially get away. So, and just in general, whenever you hit your Qs, try to get heals in if you can, because you get, depending on how many points you put in your Q, you get empowered healing. Like, usually it's at least an extra, like, 40% healing off of your Q, especially with the most recent changes. Like, the Q gives you a lot of extra healing. They reduce the damage. For people watching that didn't know about the Soraka changes a couple of patches ago, they reduced the damage on the Q and they reduced the damage on the E, but they gave her a ton of extra healing on her Q. So you really need to be hitting that Q and try to use the empowered healing as much as you can. So you were doing that some, but it felt like there were a couple of times where you'd hit the Q on somebody and someone might be sitting there with some missing health and you weren't Wing them. Like, I'm thinking specifically of where LeBlanc was backing mid lane after you all got that tier 1 tower, and you hit a Q on somebody, and you could have healed the LeBlanc. You actually have time, once you get like 5 points in W, to heal twice off of an empowered Q. Maybe even 3 times, depending on your CDR. You should definitely heal at least once. And then LeBlanc may have stepped up instead of backing and helped you out, you know, pushing out another wave or whatever. Now, she was kind of low on mana, but either way, just keep that in mind. And then, finally, kind of near the end of the game, just make sure you're focusing on objectives and, like, encouraging your team to do the right thing. You know, because it was starting to get pretty clowny. They were starting to get back in there. People were just kind of trickling in, you know, taking on these 1v3s, 2v3s. People were trying to bush bait in the jungle, you know, without knowing the status of their wards. Usually bush baiting is pretty bad if you're really far ahead, because you could be pushing lanes. You know, if you can beat them in a team fight, you can beat them, you know, just sieging lanes. There's really no reason to risk like a bush bait. Really, bush baiting, like, it can work, but it's something that you kind of want to resort to if you can't get lane pressure, if you can't win team fights. Because like what'll happen is kind of like what happened up top. And I had someone ask me this question before in comments. They're like, because I was critiquing like the enemy team bush baiting me one time, and I could have handled it better, but I called it bad macro, and he was like, well, it worked, so it's good. And I'm like, you can't be results oriented. You can't just say, okay, this worked out well this time, so therefore it's a good decision. It's like, well, it may not work out all the time like that. Well, like what'll happen with bush baiting is a lot of times kind of like what happened here, where someone will try to do it by themselves, hang out in this bush, and then they'll try to engage on somebody, but they won't have proper vision, and so the rest of their team will be there, and they'll end up dying, or they could end up baiting multiple people into fights, kind of like what happened up here. I think it was you, LeBlanc, and Timo were all hanging out around here. Jinx was somewhere else doing something random, and I think Hecarim was doing something random too. And then y'all tried to bush bait some people up here, get a couple of kills, and it turned out all 5 of them were there, and they ended up getting like 3 kills, and a lot of bad stuff happened there for a few minutes around that. So, you know, the only time, like I said, I would bush bait, you definitely want to make sure that it's all swept and that you have proper vision everywhere if you're going to try it. But you don't need to try it if you're really far ahead. If you can already push and take towers and pressure lanes, then it's just not worth it to do it. Unless you're like, if you're immediately going to take Baron after that, like if you have all of this warded and set up, you have both of these lanes pushed, and then you have a control ward on Baron, and you're trying to bait them, and you're like standing here with your whole team or something like that, looking to get a pick so you can better secure a Baron, okay, that's different. But when it's just like 1 or 2 people just hanging out in a random bush, and you don't have good vision, and the rest of your team is somewhere else, and there's a decent probability that a lot of them could be there, and that's a problem. But yeah, so that was one thing that you kind of got caught up in, those shenanigans, and I don't think that was probably your idea. You were probably just there trying to help people. But you know, just call that off. Just say, hey, we don't need to do that. Let's go push like some lanes or something. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Anyone else that'd like to sponsor or like to donate for a coaching session, I should say, you can email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Just $25. I can do it on stream or off stream. I can tell you how to send me the replay if you don't know. And I'll always save them in a playlist that I have linked in the description. If you want to watch more of these, you can always have access. You know, if in a couple of months you want to go back, watch your coaching session or watch some other people's coaching sessions, it'll always be there. Check out the rest of the content on the channel as well. I start streaming every night starting around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have tier lists that I release every patch, support and AD carry, and sometimes some other roles as well. Topical guides like better macro, better micro, how to, putting down better vision, best one tricks, all sorts of guides. I'm constantly adding more individual champion guides. I just recently done one for Yumi and Lux over the past few weeks. I'm going to try to do a bunch more of those. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.